こんなんやってないんですダメ。まあそうですね。So today we are at the Atsuta Jingu shrine. We are by the west gate, and if you go ahead and look inside, you're going to see a ton of people are here for the New Year's holiday. So we're going to take a look inside so you know what New Year's at our shrine looks like in Japan. So a lot of people who come to the shrine, they're actually here not really to pray or to worship, but because of the festivities. So if you take a look, there's a lot of stands here that are selling food, that are selling trinkets, but at the end of where we're going, you're going to see a lot of people who are praying to false gods and saying a prayer in hopes that it will help them in their life. What you're looking at right now is the booth that they have set up to get rid of their old Lucky Charms. People will bring their old Lucky Charms to be burned and buy new ones here during the New Year. There's approximately 3 million people who come during the New Year's holiday, and as you can tell, there's people everywhere. We are currently still a couple hundred feet away from the main shrine complex. As you can see, it's over that way, but this place is so packed with people right now that we can't even move. On your left, my right, over here is a station where people are washing their hands. It's where people ritually cleanse themselves before they go to worship and pray. You'll notice that a lot of people aren't doing it, but there's a huge line for the people who are doing it. And then over here in the distance, you see a great tree with white wrapped around it. That is one of the sacred trees on the temple complex. As you get closer, you're going to notice that people are actually putting their hands together and praying to this tree as well. Let's take a look. During the New Year holiday, they set up this big screen over here, this TV, and what they're doing is they're explaining how you're supposed to worship at the shrine. They're talking about how to use the water station back there to cleanse yourself and wash your hands and get ready to go pray. Look at this whole line. There's all these people there. It's all backed up. There's so many people here. Usually this place is not this packed. It's usually only during special festivals during the summer and during the New Year holiday. Most of the time we can just walk right in. This TV screen isn't even here. But today, with it being the New Year holiday, this place is packed. The crowd has finally started to move just a little bit. They are taking shifts as they let people in, so let's go. There are so many people here today that the police and security are sectioning off the people who can go to worship in turns so they don't cause a mob. You can see the security is holding a rope, and the police are also helping navigate so they can direct traffic because there are so many people here. It's now our turn to get close. In the distance, what you see is the main shrine complex where people are going to go to pray. And as you can see, it's still a huge crowd of people as we're trying to get close. This is the main area where people come to throw in their change and then bow and say a prayer. So what you just saw was people praying to a false god, hoping that they can get some kind of good fortune in their lives. As we walk this way, you're going to see a bunch of people who are buying lucky charms just so they can help or get a little bit of extra help with their new year. Once the year is over, people will come and bring them back to burn at that place that we showed you earlier. Look at this huge line. There's people buying all kinds of charms for various purposes. Let's go this way. As we walk through the place where they buy and sell their charms and stuff, I want to point out one thing over here. It's a place where they have plaques. It's called ima. An ima is basically a plaque that you write your prayers on and show it to the gods. And there's a huge row of them over here up on our right that we're going to take a look at. These are the ima that they sell here at the shrine, and people will write all kinds of things on them as a wish, as a prayer. Some will do it just for the fun of it. A lot of these will have people asking for a favor for a test or finding a girlfriend. They write those wishes and those desires on here. These little white pieces of paper that you're seeing are called omikuji, and people will buy them and it has your fortune. Think of it like the paper inside of a fortune cookie, except people take these a little bit more seriously. Some say you're gonna have a lot of good luck, some say just a little bit, but this is where people will tie them onto this. So these are all omikuji that people have bought. You'll see that people are tying them on even right now. These are a little bit cheaper than some of the other things that they sell here, but it's one of those things that people, if they get one that says they're going to be very lucky, they feel very good about themselves and say, oh, it's going to be a good year. It's not uncommon if you have a Japanese friend for them to take a picture if it says Daikichi or very lucky, take a picture of it and post it on their social media too, because they'll be like, hey, I got this today. Yay, I feel good. You see people celebrating. All this, and people in Japan will tell you mostly that they are not religious. I don't have religion is what they're going to say. Yet during holidays, New Year's, when everybody goes to the shrine, this is where a lot of people show up. There's not many foreigners here today, mostly Japanese people, and we've been out here for several hours and we've seen very few people from foreign countries. It's mostly Japanese people here. But as we've talked about in our interviews, a lot of them do it out of tradition, out of custom, and they, at the end of the day, they're still trusting in themselves. So it's a very intricate balance between religion and humanism, where people trust themselves to work out their own problems. But just in case they can get a little bit of help, a little bit of leverage, they'll do whatever they can get. So as you can tell, Japan needs Jesus. They need the gospel. And that's why we're asking you to consider what you need to do to be a part of God's work here in Japan, to tell people who are praying to trees and false idols and trying to get any kind of good fortune they can off a piece of paper they buy, to know the true God who made these trees, who made this world, and how they can not just pray to him once a year or at a specific shrine, because our God doesn't live in a shrine or temple made with human hands. He made the world, and we want them to know Jesus. So please be praying about what you can do, because this is the reality of Japan.